Buckle in, boys, because I want to rant. I have a tangent I want to make. I have no idea where this video is going to go, but I have a lot of thoughts in my brain that I want to share, so we're gonna see where it goes. And yes, if you watched my last video, I know that I'm wearing the exact same thing. I literally just finished recording my review for The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift, and now I'm making this video. In the upcoming days, I'm going to be so ridiculously busy, it's insane. So I don't know if I'll have enough time to make this video, and I don't know if I'll be in the same mood to make this video, so we're just gonna hash it out now. And I have no structure for this video, by the way. This is literally just me turning on a camera and just saying how I feel. So it might get a little ranty. Might be a little different from what I normally do, but just hang in there. So how I got started on this topic, it's gonna sound a little weird, but hang with me for a second. I started thinking today about how we as a society are sleeping on Kelly Clarkson. I know, that sounds weird. I'm gonna get to the point, I promise. But I was thinking about Kelly Clarkson, as one does, and I got to thinking about her Happier Than Ever cover, which is great. It's amazing. Kelly Clarkson is an incredible singer. We're sleeping on her. You go listen to Kelly Clarkson, she's great. But I began thinking about how different songs can be in their message just by artist alone. For example, Happier Than Ever was originally sung by Billie Eilish, of course. And because Billie Eilish has such like a melancholic, sad voice, I automatically assume her version of Happier Than Ever is she's trying to convince herself, and that's the irony of the song, right? She's saying that she's happier than ever, but she really isn't. She's suffering without this person, you know, she's heartbroken, and this person has hurt her. And so to deal with that, she's saying, I'm happier than ever. She's lying to herself. If you look at Kelly Clarkson's version of Happier Than Ever, because her voice is so much more fuller and powerful, you actually believe that she's happier than ever. You feel like she's past the point where Billie Eilish is. She's fully healed. And because of that, that song takes on a whole new meaning. It's a celebration. It's not a coping mechanism. It's like, I finally made it. I'm finally over this person, and I'm happier than ever, and I truly mean it. And so both of those songs have different meanings, just purely based on the person alone. Just voice alone has a story to tell. If you're in like folk country music, you want that person to have the country accent because that goes into that storytelling, right? So much can change just depending on the person who is approaching this work, because each person is different. Each person has their own inspirations. Each person comes from a different background. Each person, you know, is dealing with different genres. And it all just comes down to being a different person, being a different voice. And I find that so fascinating that just a single person alone, just being who they are, can drastically affect the message that they're trying to send. Human beings, just in general, it seems like they just put their soul into a piece of art. It's just who they are. You know, I always feel like I turn songs into Paramore songs, because I'm a drummer. I write drums. If you need drums for your song, let me know. I can record them for you. But this isn't an ad. Because I come from a rock background, because I'm a rock drummer, because I have a lot of rock influences and listen to a lot of rock music, every song that I approach is going to have that DNA woven into it, even though I'm playing by the rules of that genre. So I feel like every time I play a pop song, I just turn it into a Paramore song, just because like the rock flavor is still there. And so each person is going to bring something new and different to the table. Like, you can line up 100 musicians. It doesn't matter what they're doing, whether they're singing or playing an instrument, whatever you're having them do. And each one is going to be a little different, because that's how human beings are. Each of us have our own background. Each of us have our own inspirations. Each of us are our own individual person. And I was just thinking about how incredible that is, but also how lost that's going to be with the influx of AI. I know that there's going to be quite a number of people in the comments that are going to disagree with me. It all goes back to people being, you know, their own person, and I'm sure the talking points that I'm going to get in this video are not going to be, you know, groundbreaking or something that you haven't heard before, but it's something that I want to talk about, because I feel like we've become so, like, complacent. Like, all of us are so afraid of what the future holds, but nobody's really doing anything about it. It's just slowly taking over. You know, I was on Etsy the other day, and all of it was just AI art. You go into Hobby Lobby, it's just AI art. You have AI songs in the charts now. You have AI bands making their way onto the scene. We have our first AI actor. It's slowly getting its tentacles into the art world, and we've seen this coming for so long. And it terrifies me because I don't know what the future is. And I don't think anybody does. You know, I think that's the fear with all of this coming in, is that we don't know where AI will find its place. And I am so anti-AI. Truthfully, I hate this stuff. But I'm not naive, you know, I'm not stupid. I know that it's already making its way in here, and I know that it'll find its place somewhere. And it's just like, it baffles me that it's like the arts where that's taking over. When it's shown promise in like the medical fields, like you can use it to detect cancer, it's like, why don't we use it for that? Why don't we like progress that in fields where it would actually be useful? Because it's not useful in art. Because art is so inherently human. It's something so fascinating to me that across so many civilizations, across so many cultures, everything has its version of art. Caveman times, literally like prehistoric times, there's handprints on cave walls. We have been creating art since forever. There's just something so human about wanting to express ourselves, and I think that's what art is. It's humans wanting to be heard by other humans. And that just doesn't go for music. That goes for any form of art, you know, drawing, painting, photography, musicals, anything. It all comes down to the human experience. We are humans wanting to express ourselves, and we're humans trying to connect with other humans in some way. Now, I know that there's a lot of artists out there that say, you know, I do this for me, and, you know, it's not about what other people think of it, but that is kind of automatic. You know, as soon as someone engages with your art, that connection is like instant. And I think about just music. The main appeal for that is either A, I listen to something and it's so incredibly awesome that you're just like, how could a human like make this? How could they play this? Or how could they come up with this? Or you look at it lyrically and you find that connection with that person because they have a shared experience. You connect with a song because you're like, oh, somebody gets it. You know, somebody has lived what I've lived through, and that makes me feel less alone in the human experience. I even think about like concerts. It's all about human connection. You know, you go to concerts and you meet new people, you make friends, you make connections with people based on this shared interest. Art is humanity. And so when you take the humanity out, what do you have? Because it's not art. It's just a song. It's just a painting. It's, you know, it's just. The AI band that made its rounds a couple months ago, I listened to that song. And when you listen to it for the first time, you know, it's a little scary. It's a little jarring because it's like, you know, how is this AI? And thinking about the implications of an AI band is terrifying in itself. But when I was listening to the song, when you look past, you know, the instrumentals and you pay attention to the lyrics, it is just entirely cliches upon cliches. It takes every cliche of the 70s rock movement and just rolls it up into one song. And I know it's just a computer and it's just a database just trying to mimic the human experience. And so it's soulless. It means nothing to me because I know it's just a computer mocking humans. It's not a real person in the studio. It's not a real person recording the music. It's not a real person playing these instruments. It's just a song. And unfortunately, I feel like it's just a song or it's just the drawing is so like representative of where we're going as a society. We just don't care anymore. We are just so devoid of any feelings. I have talked about this ad nauseum on this channel, but people are afraid to have hobbies. People don't have hobbies. People don't know what they're passionate about, or if they are, they're too afraid to talk about it because you're not being nonchalant. You have to be nonchalant to be cool. If you're chalant, people will shun you on the internet. So it's this very fascinating trip into just nothingness. You can't be passionate about anything. You can't have interests. You can't have hobbies. You can't have human connection in music. You can't have human connections in art. And it's just so like the whole "it's not deep, bro" movement just goes alongside the AI art just so well. And it just scares me because it's like, where are we going? You know, where does this end? And I think so many people are thinking that. Because it's like, what does our future look like? If this is where we're going, and this is what our art is going to look like, and this is what our media is going to look like, what does that mean for us? Are we just going to like float around as like emotionless ghosts? I understand this is like hippy dippy stuff and not everyone's gonna agree with me, and somebody might even type out "it's not that deep, bro," but it is that deep for me because my channel has always been a love letter to music, but I'm just so far beyond just a musician. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I'm an art kid as well. I like to draw. I've also, dabbled in being a theater kid. I just love art so much, and I love what the human mind is capable of, and I love the community that art creates. And so as long as I have this channel, I think I'm always going to celebrate human creativity. I think as long as I live, I'll always just be celebrating art, and even probably in the afterlife, I'll find a way to do it. I think passion is something that is becoming lost on a lot of people, and so when I find an artist, or I just find somebody in my life who finds something that makes it worth living, that really, gets them up in the morning and makes them feel something, I really respect that, and I really want to celebrate that, because I feel like, again, there's so much in our lives that just feel bleak. And so I think if you can find anything, and I mean anything, that makes you happy, that makes you feel passionate, that makes you want to create, I think we should hold on to that, because there's something really special about that. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what our future looks like. I don't know if anybody knows what our future looks like. I guess we'll all just worship AI computers. That's something else too. With me, if you can tell by the wall behind me, I was just like every other teenager. Teenagers idolize musicians, idolize actors. They find somebody that they connect with, and you form a healthy obsession with them. And it's just eerie to think about the possibility of AI musicians and AI bands, and the concept of a human, a teenager, just being obsessed with somebody who's not real. I don't know, man. It's like some crazy stuff. And so at the end of the day, I know AI will be in our lives to some degree, but the things that it does is not art. And it will never be art, because art is human. The things that AI creates is just music, is just the drawing. It's not art. And that is basically all I have to say, I think. I really don't know why I made this video. I don't know why I feel like so passionate about this. It was just something that I was thinking about today. Something that really grinds my gears, really. So, yeah. Thank you for listening to my rant. Sorry if it's a little different from what I normally do, but I just had to get that out of my system. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like and subscribe to join the Groovy Graveyard, and I will see you in the next one.